What is standing in the way of ceasefire in the Israel-Hamas war? In nearly 9 months, at least 38,000 Palestinians and over 1,000 Israelis have died, at least according to the Israeli army and the Hamas-run Gaza Health Ministry. The exact numbers impossible to verify. But according to the United Nations, 60% of Gazan homes and over 80% of commercial buildings and schools damaged or destroyed. And the United Nations warns that over 1 million Gazans could face the highest levels of starvation by mid-July if the fighting doesn't end immediately. War always reserves its harshest punishment for the most vulnerable, with UNICEF reporting that 9 out of every 10 Gazan children lack the nutrition needed for proper growth.
ايش بتتمنى؟
بتمنى نموت.
ليش؟
كان عندنا مشاكل ورا شغل.
The hopelessness in that young child's eyes should be enough to end the war today. The average Gazan desperate for a ceasefire, and increasingly, so too is the average Israeli. In recent days, thousands have flooded the streets of Jerusalem and Tel Aviv to demand a pause in hostilities and the immediate return of the Israeli hostages still held by Hamas. They're also demanding something else.
We have to replace this evil government. This is our time. There are 120 hostages still in Gaza. We have to replace the government. This is our only way to get them back and to get Israel back.
Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Bibi Netanyahu's grip on power is slipping and his governing coalition is falling apart. Last month, Israeli centrist Benny Gantz resigned from Bibi's war cabinet. Shortly after, a military spokesman refuted Netanyahu's long-standing vow to eradicate Hamas at any cost.
Hamas is an idea. Hamas is a party, and it is implanted in people's hearts. Whoever thinks that we can demolish Hamas is wrong.
As the moderates in the government abandon ship, Netanyahu will have no choice but to bow to the far-right hardliners in his coalition if he wants to stay in power. And you can bet your bottom shekel that the last thing these folks want is a ceasefire. But it's not just Netanyahu who is keeping this war going. Hamas, which started the war and which has used Palestinians as human shields, has stood in the way of any realistic peace deal. In late May, President Biden unveiled a ceasefire proposal that he said had the support of the Israeli government and the global community. Here's U.S. Secretary of State Antony Blinken speaking to Hamas's refusal of that deal while in Doha earlier this month.
A deal was on the table that was virtually identical to the proposal that Hamas put forward on May the 6th. And Hamas could have answered with a single word: yes. Instead, Hamas waited nearly 2 weeks and then proposed more changes, a number of which go beyond positions that it previously taken and accepted.
Getting back to my initial question, it's not so much what is standing in the way of a ceasefire, but who? And the answer is the people in charge. Until that changes, the fighting and the suffering will continue.